Well, speaking about strong women, tonight, Zantsi's Showtime boxing productions, in conjunction with BSA, SRSA and Gauteng Sport, will put on the Women in Boxing event. It's an all-women's fight night with the headline fight seeing Noni Tenge defend her world title against fellow South African Mapule Ngubane. The undercards begin at 6 p.m. at the Kagiso Recreational Centre. To speak a little bit more about it is promoter Mbali Zantsi. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you. Nice. Thank you for having me.
It's quite historic that we've got a all-women's card with a number of fights on it, and all the organisers and promoters are also all female.
Yes. That is the plan, that is the mandate that we got from the Department of Sport, from the Minister, to say this is what he wants to see. He wants to see a tournament with all females in the ring. And, well, with the Department, again, of Sport in Gauteng, our MEC there was very excited about that. And then they decided to have a tender where female promoters would tender for that date to do an all-female tournament for females by females. But then what is even special about this one is that it marks 10 years of women in boxing since 2007. So that is our catch line, since 2007, because you would remember that the Noni Tenges that we're talking about today, the Unati Miekenis, they all started in 2007 when we only had 5 girls that turned professional in South Africa. So we're marking the 10 years of anniversary now in style in Gauteng.
Globally, boxing for women is still in its infancy, and South Africa is just merely a reflection of that. How big is the sport?
It's not as big as we want it to be, but we're getting there. You would understand that you don't have a lot of females that go into the ring. You don't have a lot of fights that would feature females. So sometimes you get females that go to your trainings, your gyms, but then they don't get the fights, they don't get the necessary exposure, and, well, you get tired of going to the gym, not getting the fights, not getting the exposure, and eventually you fall pregnant, you lose interest, and that is the challenge that we have. But then now with the endeavors like these ones from the Department of Sport, Gauteng, from the Minister of Sport himself, to say, look, let us focus solely on this thing. Let us have women in boxing fighting. Let us promote these things. Let us support them. Let us sponsor these events. So we are hoping that we are going to go forward. But then if you look at the improvement that has been done from 2007 up to now, you now have your world title fighters, you have your SA title holders in South Africa. So that should speak volumes to say we are moving forward, even though we may be moving slowly.
One of the shining lights has been Noni Tenge. She's in action tonight, but that's not the only world title fight. There's a vacant world title, and Unati Mikene is going up against a Tanzanian teenager, Ruth Chisale, for the vacant world WBF featherweight title.
Yes, but then that has been changed since, because Unati is no longer fighting Ruth anymore, because we felt that Ruth was still young, and the number of fights that she has against Unati were not enough, even though she has 9 fights and no losses out of the 9 fights. But then we took one of our own, because if you remember, sometime in March, Unati Miekeni fought Asandiswa Ngogwana in East London. And Unati, being a veteran, she was beaten by a knockout by Asandiswa. So now, because we wanted to take ownership of this title, we wanted to come to South Africa either way. So if it goes to Asandiswa, it still remains in South Africa. If it goes to Unati, it still remains here. But then it's a fight that we felt that the viewers and the lovers of boxing would want to see. Basically, it becomes a grudge fight, because not Noni, but Unati wants to redeem herself by beating Asandiswa, and Asandiswa wants to prove a point that I've beaten you before, I'm going to beat you again.
Sure, those are 2 world title fights that are going to be very, very exciting. And then there is a bantamweight title fight for the South African title. Yes,
there's a bantamweight, but then again, that fight, we pulled it out because we felt that the tournament was too packed. And, well, we changed it for an international. So we have a Malawian now that is fighting in place of your South African bantam title, because it was too packed, and we thought we would move that one bout, because it's one of the bouts that creates interest for the lovers of boxing. So we're moving it to another date. But then we have an international bout instead. It's South Africa versus Malawi, Gauteng versus Malawi.
You mentioned taking out a fight. It just shows you how packed it is with top quality
it is
boxing.
Packed with top quality.
How big is this that this is going to be shown live? You have 4 women's boxing, considering the challenges that you spoke about a little bit earlier.
If you look at the 2 main bouts, it tells you already that it is big. Because you have the world title fight where Noni is defending a title, and Noni being the veteran and with all the experience that she has against Mapule Ngubane from Gauteng. And then again, when you have Noni Tenge with this girl with Asandi who is the champion, an SA champ from East London. Those are 2 title bouts that are big already. Then we're talking already as well to your development. When we have your debuts, we have your 4-rounders, some girls from Gauteng as well that are very good that we want to showcase. So it's not just the main fighters, the main attractions that are there, but then we're talking to development, because that is the mandate that we got from the MEC of sport in Gauteng to say, let it not just be an event of the professionals, but then let us talk to development as well, so that we may have a pool of boxers. When the Nonis are going out or we're phasing them out, then we have the younger girls that we have been exposing as well.
Entrance to the Kagiso Recreational Centre tonight?
We're doing it for free. It's free for all. We're encouraging the members of the public to come, and everything that is happening there, the service providers, we've sourced the service providers from the community. It's happening at Kagiso Memorial and Recreational Wall, and we're starting at 6. That is, we're opening the doors, but then the first bout would start at 7.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much. That's Mbali Zantsi, promoter of the Women in Boxing event taking place in Kagiso later today. You can also watch it if you're not in the Gauteng area on TV tonight, SABC 2 at 10:30. Thank you so much for your time on Morning Live.
Sure. Thank you so much.